guys and dolls, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, definitely a very warm welcome. This video is going to be kind of like a self-help video as to what to do when you're in a job or you have a job that is sucking the soul out of you. That's basically what this video is going to be about. I'm going to try to give you some pointers and things you can do, especially I know one of you who has kind of turned or hit this video. Once you see the title, you're going to want to, you want help. You want someone to give you some pointers, or you're just looking for a way to cope in this job that's just killing you. So I'm going to give you an example of one of the worst jobs I've ever had, and then I'm going to talk about like what I do now to cope with the soul-sucking job I have at the moment. So if you really want to know, you want some advice, or you just want to hear what I have to say, or you just want to hear about the story, please keep watching. As usual, like, comment, subscribe. Think about becoming a part of my sub hub because I would love to have you. And don't forget to hit that little bell, the icon button, so that you know when I'm posting a video and exactly when. Way back when I was with my high school sweetheart, we lived together. I needed a job, and I ended up taking a job at a law office. Now, little did I know, I didn't know any of this before I took that job. This was a criminal attorney, and his wife was a part of the practice. They had an assistant, not an assistant, I'm sorry. They had a partner, and he was downstairs, and they were upstairs with, so it was the attorney upstairs, his wife, and their paralegal. They also had a runner. So that's the whole company. It consisted of a total of what? 1, 2, 3, 5 people, 6 people including me.
So when I took the job.
When I took the job, you know, I was excited. I really needed it. It was a simple receptionist position. Little did I know that that would be one of the most soul-sucking, death, misery, suffocating job I think I can remember having. So when I accepted the position, I just thought I would be a receptionist answering a few lines. They had a phone system that had about the capacity of having 15 calls in queue, which was fine. Part of the deal was that I was the receptionist for his partner as well. So it just wasn't, you know, I was a receptionist for everybody. So I accepted the job, and little did I know that the people walking through the door, he was a criminal attorney. I was dealing with pedophiles, criminals, wife beaters, thieves, robbers, bank robbers, because I remember during that time I was with him, someone had robbed a bank. It was all over the news. It was a high profile case, and guess who took it? Because he was that good. So I was told by his wife, she's the one who interviewed me, she's the one who hired me. I was told by his wife that, you know, the desk that I was given, because when you walk in, it was a house, by the way. This was a regular everyday house, just a house like you or I would live in. And it didn't have a basement, of course. In Florida, pretty much no houses have basements, but it was just a beautiful house in the middle of downtown Orlando, and it was in the historic district. They had a lot of money. They even had other houses and other apartments that they were renting in that same area. Very expensive, because that area was just, I mean, no one, I don't know about you, but I don't live in Manhattan, and to live in downtown Orlando, you had to be making a pretty penny, because that's where, you know, it's the city. That's considered the city for Florida. So anyway, yeah, they had rental properties, and I was in charge of answering the phones. People would come in to pay rent. I had to give them receipts. I was in charge of the copier and this ridiculous formula. It was a really old copier. It was a long time ago, a very long time ago. Copiers, you don't need to do that anymore. But this copier was really old, and there was a formula. You had to figure it out in order to know how many copies were done in a month. So not only did these people have a lot of money, they made a lot of money, and she was the biggest tightwad I have ever seen in my life. One of the first red flags was that I shouldn't have taken the job was I was told that the desk that I was told to sit in front of was mine. I could rearrange things. You know, if I had some coffee, I could drink my coffee. If I had pens or whatever the heck it was, anything, I could just have it and leave it there. lo and behold, in front of everyone one day, because I had rearranged things the way that I would like them. And when I say I rearranged things, I pretty much put my cup of coffee where she had like a little knickknack. I moved it to the right side, and I took the pencils that were in front of me and I put them next to me because it was like an L desk. And so if I faced this way, that's where the typewriter computer was. And so I wanted the pencils to be next to me. That's pretty much all I moved, because something told me, Julie, leave everything as is. This isn't really your desk. I don't know why I had that nagging sensation and that nagging feeling, but I immediately knew she was lying to me when she said I could move everything around. So one day, in the middle of the day, in the middle of my wonderful days working there, she brings her fat ass down, because she was a very, very large woman. She may not have been fat, but she looked like a freaking Neanderthal. That's how tall and wide she was. Like I said, she wasn't fat. She was just a big-bodied woman. And I'm sorry, the torture that this woman put me through, I'm gonna call her anything I want. I'm not making fun of anybody else. I'm making fun of her. So she comes downstairs, and in front of the partner, in front of the runner, in front of her assistant, and in front of her husband attorney, the paralegal went upstairs during all of this. She comes down and she starts screaming like a lunatic. Why did I think I had permission to move anything on that desk? I had no right to move any of her things from where she had them. She worked long and hard to create a pretty atmosphere for her husband's office, and I have come and disrupted the flow. She went on and on and on and on and on and on about me moving pretty much 2 items on the desk. So every day I came in, before I left, I had to make sure that everything was in the exact spot that she put it in before I left, or this would happen every single day. Another time she came downstairs and I couldn't figure out the formula on how to figure out the amount of copies that the printer had made, or copy, or whatever the heck it was. I did it wrong, and the company called, and it was just didn't match up to what she had. Whatever came down, that was another ass ringing that I got from, are you stupid? Do you seriously not know how to do this? Do we need to, give you a math class? Okay. She asked me if I needed to go to, a math class, because I did tell her that I was in college, and she was like, aren't they teaching you? What are they teaching you? What did you learn in high school? I mean, it was horrible, to the point where the partner who had the office downstairs, who I was directly in front of, came out just to see kind of what was going on and asked, is everything okay? And she kind of reamed him a new one. She was like, everything's okay. I'm having a conversation with my receptionist, blah, blah, blah. And then he intervened and said, you know what? Well, she's my receptionist as well. I just wanted to make sure everything was okay. And she was like, everything is fine. And she just continued to ream me because I didn't get the formula correct. So after a couple months of doing it, I was able to do it, and everything was kind of okay. On any given day, she was either yelling at someone, or the runner did something that he wasn't. It was a madhouse every single day, and I remember crying most days at lunch. I was so devastated, and so I didn't know what to do. I was always on pins and needles. I was always waiting for her to come yell at me. I was always waiting for something to happen, and it was so bad. I guess I looked so bad that the partner, I remember distinctly him coming out one day and apologizing to me about all the crazy people that were in that place. And let me tell you, I had so many more horribly embarrassing moments in front of everyone because of this lady's harassment, of the way she treated me, the way she talked to me, and she was always yelling. She was always yelling about something. And it kind of permeated and went through everybody, and everybody sucked it in, and everybody was just like her. Except for the partner who had his own office downstairs. And I did ask him at one point, I was like, please hire me. Please, let me just be your receptionist. I will just be your receptionist. And he was like, he apologized. He said he was so sorry, but he just didn't make enough money to have his own receptionist, because he said if that were the case, he would have already offered me the job. Oh my God, I cried that day at lunch too. So with that said, on a day that I didn't know that things were going to hit the fan and it was going to be such a horribly busy day, but it was a day that I had decided to quit because I just couldn't take it anymore. I waited until the afternoon because I was just afraid. I waited actually until I got paid, and it was about 12 noon, And I got all my stuff together, and I called her nervous wreck of an assistant. That would have been the attorney's wife's assistant. And she came running downstairs because I told her to get downstairs quick. And she came running downstairs and with her haggard, nervous, jittery self, because she was always just like, always, because I'm telling you, that was the atmosphere in that place. And she came down, she's like, what is it? What is it? What's wrong? And I just was like, as soon as I was about to say I quit, the phones lit up. I mean, people started walking in through the door. I didn't even get to say the words. And then finally I was like, well, I quit and you better answer that. And then with that, I just walked out and left. And that was the end of that. And just to prove how crazy this lady was, the next job that I was able to get, which was at it was a veterinary surgeon. It was a practice, and I was a receptionist there as well. Guess who showed up with her 2 crazy, retarded dogs? And no, not all dogs are retarded, but her dogs were extra stupid. And imagine those poor animals just absorbing all of her craziness. So when the dogs came in, they were crazy too. She had 2 Rottweilers. They were the most beautiful dogs ever, but dumb as rocks and just crazy. And I believe they had hip dysplasia, so their treatment was going to be quite expensive. Before, she didn't even recognize me when she walked in with her 2 dogs, but I never said anything. I didn't tell my boss. I was dying to tell my boss, but I didn't say anything. I overheard them talking about how crazy she was. And that's when I chimed in and said, that is the crazy person I used to work for. And I was so happy that I was vindicated and that someone else saw that she was she was crazy. She was, I have so many sayings for crazy people, I can't even remember one right now, but she was crazy. She was very crazy. But anyway, I guess the point of this video is that for those of you who do have soul-sucking jobs, because I have one right now, I think the ways that I've come to find ways to cope. And as you know, I'm always controlling the way I think and the way that I feel. I read, uplifting books, and I read literature now that, helps me to think better and just proves how your actions, how the way you treat people, how you talk to people, how let's, for example, if you're a manager or you're a supervisor in anywhere you happen to be, if you treat your employees with respect, if you, oversee what they're doing, and you know that this one employee is just doing a horrible job, the way you should approach that is by seeing the good that they do. Because if you're keeping someone in a job or you're allowing someone to work for you, they must be doing something right. So the way that I have noticed good managers deal with employees that are kind of troublesome, they point out all the good things. They thank them for the good things that they've done. Then they say, you know what, I really would like you to do this a little better because it hasn't, you've kind of been lacking in that area. And then again, thank you for your hard work. Thank you for showing up every day. That's the way you correct someone. That's the way you get people to do what you want. There are so many different ways that you can get people to do what you want and cooperate, no matter how horrible they are, no matter how intrusive they are, no matter how mean they are, no matter how crazy they are. If you practice traits like this, and you don't have to be a manager or a supervisor to do that, you can do it yourself if you want a friend that, to do something that you would like. You can form your words in that fashion, in that sandwich fashion where you give them a compliment, you tell them what's been bothering you, and then you kind of close it with a compliment. Honest compliments, heartfelt compliments, not anything that's fake or not real. That's one way to help yourself in a very toxic environment. Another way to help yourself in a toxic environment is come in happy. Be happy when you get up in the morning. Start being thankful for what you have. Instead of thinking about, oh my God, another day, this is shit, I can't deal with this. Get up, be thankful for everything. Think of anything that you can think of to be thankful for. Start your day off like that. You know why? Because when you sleep, you let all that stuff go. The bad day that you had is completely released during sleep. And when you wake up, it's like a fresh new day and you can start over. And if you start over on a positive note, I guarantee you will realize as your days go on, even in a toxic job, how much better you will feel, even though nobody around you has changed. Another, for instance, if you have a really bad relationship with someone at your job, try to be more understanding. Say good morning in the morning. Ask them how they're doing. I mean, if they come at you with negativity, kill it with kindness. Okay, if they say, shut up, then just say, okay, well, I just wanted to see how your day was doing, and walk away. Or don't say anything at all and be like, okay, and just walk away. There's so many things that you can do. Let's see, I'm trying to think of all the methods that I use, like that waking up in the morning and being grateful and thankful for everything, and just saying, hey, I'm gonna have a good day. When you get in your car, whether you're going to drive in a mass amount of traffic, for me, it's getting on public transportation. Oh God, it's really bad sometimes. So right before I step foot on that train, what do I say to myself? I say, you know what, I'm gonna have a really good ride to work. I usually end up finding a seat. I'm comfortable, no one bothers me, no one's on top of me, and I have, usually 9 times out of 10, I have a really good ride to work. When I get to work and I'm faced with dealing with a person who is very toxic, I kind of chat them up a little bit. Hey, how are you doing? Are we busy? How's it going? Okay, well, I'm gonna head to my area, start working, have a good day. Usually I'm relieving someone from their position because it's a 24-hour place that I work in. That's another way that I relieve pressure off myself. When I start answering phones, because I have to answer phones, I've got to do a mass of different things, I do it with a smile on my face. I kind of try to engage whoever I'm talking to, especially if I know they're difficult. I let them speak. Good morning, how are you? Or, okay, at the end of the call, hey, thank you for your patience, thank you for putting up with me, or whatever the case may be. I try to find a way to make them feel that they're in control. That's another thing you can do, especially when you work in a toxic environment. Just let that person feel that they're in control. Let that person feel that, they have all the power. Because let me tell you, the pressure that's on you will be released. I know what it's like to be angry going to work every day. I know what it's like to be in a bad mood and hate every second of every moment of what you do. And I live my life that way a long, long time now. Even though I still fight with it and I still have my bad days, they're becoming less and less and less. So when you practice, letting that person have that power, making that person feel very important, let me tell you, when you do those things, it's not you succumbing, it's not you giving in, it's not you belittling yourself, because before that's what I used to think. I'm not going to belittle myself. I'm going to be right. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. You know what would happen to me? Things would get even worse, and horrible things would happen. Why? Because you're exacerbating the situation. And anytime you feel bad, there's only 2 ways to feel: good and bad. Anytime you're feeling bad and you are complaining, or you are trying to get someone to do what you want, it's not going to work. You're not going to get anybody to do what you want. The only way to get people to do what you want is, first of all, you've got to start with yourself. And like I said, it's starting off your day on a positive note, letting that person think that they have all the power. They may not. And it's just a matter of their perception. If it's going to make your day better, let them think they have all the power. Make them feel important. I don't care who you're talking to. I don't care if you hate them or you love them. Let them feel important. If know that you're never going to win an argument. You're never going to win. So just let it go. Just let it go. And these things are a challenge to do. But once you start doing them, once you get over being proud, and you get over that little chip on your shoulder of, I'm not going to succumb, and I'm not going to do what you say. Once you get over that, your life is so much easier. And you're going to notice that the people that you hated, the people that got on your nerves, you actually might have something in common with them. You actually might be able to see them on their level and coexist in a pleasant way. And that's all you want to do, because the better you feel, the better you make your work environment, because it doesn't matter how toxic your work environment is if you're happy. And the sooner you'll be able to get out of that environment. The only way out are these measures, because the worse you feel, the more you harbor those negative feelings, and I'm sorry, like I said, there's only good and bad feelings, the more you talk about what you don't like, the more you point out everything that you hate about the position you're in, it only gets worse for you. So I hope that anything that I've said kind of opens your mind. There are a lot other ways that you can actually feel better in a toxic situation, but I don't want to bombard you, and I just wanted to kind of open your mind and make you see that there are very simple ways, simple things that you can do right now to help the toxicity that you're living with. Because I don't think I'd be able to do these videos with a smile and happiness and with so much enthusiasm if I wasn't better than I was before. And let me tell you, I'm still working on it. So if you're someone who stopped to watch this video and you're in a toxic situation, just know I work on it every day. Anybody who wants me to talk more about coping and dealing, you like the advice I've given or anything that I've said, leave a comment below and let me know. I mean, I do videos based on what I like, but also what's trending or what I think you might like. So definitely leave a comment below, and that also helps me out, so you'd be helping me out too. But this is the end of my video. Again, I hope that this information, my story, made you feel better, because I only kind of share these things with you so you can get to know me a little better, and hopefully something I've said has brightened your day, made you laugh, or helped you cope with something that you're dealing with right now. But yeah, I'm not going to keep rambling. Guys, be good to one another, make good decisions, and until my next video, I'll see you then.